So the first question that we are given is question number 1.1. It's x minus 2, close brackets, open brackets, 3x plus 4 equals to k. And the marks there is 2 marks. So it's not a lot of work. We just need to think what is it that they are looking for. So they say the equation is this, which is open brackets x minus 2, close brackets, open brackets, 3x plus 4, close brackets, equals to k. But you are told that k is equals to 0. And so we substitute k to be 0. We rewrite the equation. K is equals to 0. And so now, since we've got 0, we've got two products then. That means the first product, that will be x minus 2, will be equals to 0, or the other product will be 3x plus 4 will be equals to 0. And so here we've got x equals to, you take this to the other side, it will change the sign, then it will be positive 2, or you've got 3 here, x, you take this 4, is going to be negative 4 this side, you divide it by 3, you divide it by 3, 3 cancel 3, you've got x equals to minus 4 over 3. And so how now do they mark? You get a mark over here, you get a mark over here. So you don't get a mark here, you get a mark over the answer that you got. Okay. And so it's important also to learn the marking. So the second question will be 1.2.1. Square root of 2 minus x equals to x plus 4. Now, you know that immediately when you've got a square root, then you need to square so that we can take that particular square root out. So to eliminate this square root, we need to then square this side. But when we square this side, because this side is equals to this side, so we have to square this side and also square this side, because the two sides are equal. So whatever we do this side, we also need to do the other side. So we've got now square root of 2 minus x squared equals to x plus 4 squared. Now, when we take out this, so the square root will be cancelled by the square. So we have 2x. This side we're going to have the same thing, right? And so now we then need to multiply and solve the equation here. So say x times x, x squared, 4 times x, positive 4x, x times positive 4, it's positive x, 4x, and 4 times 4, that will be positive, because it's positive times positive, positive. 4 times 4 is 16. So 2 minus x this side. Now we have, we can take everything this side, or either way, we can put 0 here because there's not many terms this side. And then here, x squared remains the same because there's no other x squared. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we've got plus 9x. 16 minus 2, you're actually going to get plus 14, right? And so we've got 0 here, so we square. So we've got x here x over there. So the factors of 14, we know it's 7 and 2. So we put 7, we put 2. And then we ask ourselves in terms of the sign. So the sign is positive, so we're going to put a positive and a positive, because 14 should be positive, and also when we add the 2, they need to give us positive 9. So that means they should be positive. And now the answer will be x, the first product, or x equals to 0. So this one will be x equals to negative 2, or x equals to negative 7. Now, how do they mark? Because check the marks there, it's 5 marks. So we must understand how actually do they give you a mark. So mark number 1 here, that is the first mark. And the second mark that you need to get is this one. And the third mark is this one, as well as the fourth mark, which is this one. They don't mark, so this is number 4 and this is number 5. So you get 5 marks there. That's how they do their marking. And then let's look at the other question. So the question there says, you are given 2x, open brackets, x minus 3, close brackets, equals to 1. Correct to 1 decimal. Remember, if they immediately say correct to 1 decimal, then they tell you that you must use a algebraic equation or a square root equation, whereby you'll say x is equals to, then you put your standard form of equation. Okay, let's do it. So you have 1.2.2. So you have 2x in this case. Let me show you. Sorry, because I am alone today. I was supposed to be assisted by someone, but she's not home yet. So it's x minus 2. It's 2x into x minus 3 equals to 1. That is the equation. Now you multiply 2x squared, you multiply times, it's going to be 6x, then you take 1 the other side, you're going to have minus 1 equals to 0. And so now, since you've got that into 0, you know that you are going to use a formula. So a formula will say x equals to plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, x will be equals to your a, it's 2, your b, it's minus 6, and your c is minus 1. And so now, since you've got that, you will then say minus, which is the minus of that equation, into minus 6 plus or minus square root of minus 6 squared minus 4 into 2 minus 1, that is the c part. The a is 2, the C is this one, all over 2 into A, which is 2. So now you have positive 6 plus or minus square root of 6 squared 4 times, so you use your calculator. So if I use my calculator to do it, to say squared minus 4 is minus 1. So you get the answer to be 44. So you write 44 here. And then from there, you determine now using a calculator. So you first start with the positive, and then you do the negative. So it's going to be 6 plus, over 4, over 4. 44 over 4. So the answer that you're going to get is okay. You can also do it this way: 6 plus square root of 44 over 4. Right, that's the answer, which is about 3.2. Because we need to put it into 2 decimal. They said that, 1 decimal, yes, 1 decimal. So 1 decimal is okay, which is also our 1 decimal. And then you do it now, the negative. So the negative will be 6 minus. So if you do it here, and you just replace the positive with the negative, you get the answer to be 0, negative, because it's always in negative, 0, 2. They said 1 decimal. So you are done definitely with that. Now we look into the next question, which deals with inequalities. Remember, with inequalities, which is 1.3, so you've got x squared plus 4x plus 3 over x minus 1. Okay. So firstly, we determine the first part. So the first part that we're going to look into, this is actually saying to you that if you can divide by, take x, divide by x here, even if you did not do that, you can just firstly replace it if you can. Just rearrange the whole thing so that they tell you. So they say here, this is our inequalities. We know that x here cannot be equals to 1, because if x is equals to 1, then this is undefined. So you'll say here, the first thing that you write is that x squared plus 4x plus 3 x minus 1 greater than 0. Then you say x is not equals to 1. Right. So that's your first stance. And then the second part, you would then open brackets here, or factor this out, get the factors. So the factors here is going to be x. Let's open the brackets. If I open the brackets here, it will be x and x. And then from there, you'd have 1 and 3. Both of them, they must be positive, so positive, positive. And so now you have negative 3, which is, here we're going to have negative 3 if we take it out. Negative 3 is going to be less than x, and also x is less than negative 1, or we are going to have x is greater than 1 to that effect over there. Or sometimes you can write it like this: bracket minus 3, that is minus 1, which is 1 infinity, which represents this one over here. And that will definitely be the case for this one over here.